What's up, guys? This is Foshizzleron back at you after an exciting day of football. Alright, so the first two games we're going to be covering. So we got the Cowboys versus Eagles game. We're going to see what I got wrong and what I got correct. Alright, so the Cowboys-Eagles. So I was right that the Eagles would win. I think everyone knew that, but I was most definitely not expecting it to be that close. Both teams played pretty sloppy, and their defense needs some work, it seems. Eagles' offense wasn't even that good either, to be honest. I don't think A.J. Brown even had any catches. Maybe he had like one, but other than that, Hurts and Saquon were the only people who did anything. And then CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys was good at the beginning. Then he started dropping every pass that Dak threw to him. So, I mean, they kind of evened each other out. I don't really think the Cowboys were even really that good. I think that the Eagles were just playing really, really sloppy and ended up making it way closer than it should have been. So, that was that. Then the Chargers, I was exactly right about. Chargers, the Chiefs could have won if they had their two top wide receivers in, but since they didn't, Chargers ended up winning, and I was right about this one. I expected it to be a close game with Chargers being slightly on top, but yeah, so I'm 2-0 so far, alright? Now this game went wrong for just about everyone. Dolphins-Colts. I do not think a single person outside of the Colts fan base thought the Colts were going to win this one. Everyone thought they were going to be absolute trash, but they ended up blowing out the Dolphins, who barely avoided a shutout. The 8 points weren't even meaningful points. Those were just sympathy points. And yeah, that shocked the hell out of everyone. Yeah, it's actually funny to see. Then Steelers-Jets, I was exactly right about, but I thought this was actually going to be a blowout like last year. I was not expecting them to keep it close at all. And apparently, this was a game that the Jets basically won, except there was a missed field goal at some point, which caused them to lose. We're going to come back to that subject a couple times later. Alright, this is another one that I was wrong about, but I should have seen it coming more. Panthers and Jaguars. I really forgot how bad the Carolina defense actually was. I was mostly just focusing on how they performed at the end of the year, but I was totally wrong about this one. The Jaguars ended up being the much better team. So that was that. Alright. Cardinals Saints. I was expecting a better performance from the Cardinals, but I was right about this one too. Saints kept it closer than I would have expected, so I would have expected them to keep it, but Cardinals won regardless. Alright. This one I was wrong about, but I wasn't really serious about it to begin with. I picked the Giants just because I thought it was going to just be a nonsense any given Sunday win. I'm sure over 90% of people would have just picked the Commanders to win. So yeah, I'm not surprised about that one at all. Buccaneers-Falcons. I expected the Falcons to win this one, but there was a missed field goal at the end of the game that caused the Buccaneers to win this one as well. It's only from 44 yards. So that one was close. Falcons could have won, but they didn't. Alright. Bengals and Browns. This one was a game that the Browns absolutely should have won and basically had it taken from them because their kicker was being dumb and the drop passes as well. Joe Flacco technically threw 2 interceptions, but he didn't actually throw 2 interceptions. Neither of them were his fault at all. Yeah, that game stunk if you're a Browns fan, but the rookies did look very good during that game. There's something to cheer for now. I would actually feel worse if I'm a Bengals fan than if I'm a Browns fan, because the Bengals just look like the worst team throughout this game. And Browns look like they were on the rise, but somehow, some way, even though they didn't even play good, I think Burrow only threw like 120 yards. And he got sacked like almost 5 times. I think he got sacked 3 times. 3 or 4 maybe. Yeah, he did not play very well at all. But somehow the Bengals managed to pull it out, alright? And the Raiders-Patriots, I was exactly right about this game. I was exactly correct. I said I don't think the Patriots are an awful team, but I think that the Raiders just have a slightly better roster, and I was exactly correct about it. Now, this was a game I was wrong about, but it was totally winnable for the Seahawks. I would have believed it if it was like 20-17, but they basically choked the game away at the very end. I think they had it near the end zone and something happened. I'm not sure exactly what, but yeah. Then there was the Titans-Broncos. This game was a stinker if you're a Broncos fan. They did not play well at all. The Titans played very bad too, but it definitely should not have been this close. But Broncos won, and I was right about that. Alright, Lions-Packers. I was correct about this one, but I was not expecting them to absolutely dominate. I don't think anyone really was. I just expected it to be a split series with the Lions winning the second matchup. But yeah, the Packers had an absolutely brilliant debut. Alright. Now I was wrong about the Texans and Rams. I actually thought that the Texans were going to win due to Stafford's back injury. They did not. Instead, they did not play very good. Yeah, not very impressive. Joe Mixon is still out, I believe. I didn't even think about that. Nick Chubb only got 60 yards. How much did Stafford get? Oh, he didn't play bad. Yep. I think that's it. Bills-Ravens just started. I'm going to start watching that once I'm done with this. No hurry at all, though. Alright. I believe the Bills are going to win this game. I believe the Bears are going to win this game still. Covered that in the last video. Okay. So here's my Week 2 predictions. Where should I start? Thursday. How about that? Alright. I think the Packers are going to win this one. They played very well against Detroit. So did Washington last year. But I think they're just going to come out on top just because they're at home. Then the rest of them. 1 o'clock, okay. Then Bills Jets. I don't think the Jets are on that level yet. They couldn't even beat the Steelers. And despite the awful loss by Miami last week, I think they're actually going to win this game. Not because they're the better team, I just think they're due for a win against the Patriots at least once, because the Patriots, obviously, they're not that great either. Jaguars-Bengals. I actually think the Jaguars are somehow going to win this one, just because it's still early in the year, and technically the Bengals should have lost the first one, but due to some freak plays, they didn't. Alright. Then I got the Browns-Ravens. Okay. I think this is a game that the Ravens lose. Just because. I think last year on their home opener on Week 2, they lost to the Raiders. And they usually lose to the Browns once a year, so I think this is going to be the time for them. Not to mention, the Browns usually... What I meant to say was, the Browns, they have a tough schedule. They have to play the Green Bay, then they have to play the Lions, then they have to play the Vikings, then the Steelers, who they usually split the series of every year. Then their first kind of easy matchup is against the Dolphins. So they're going to have a tough first 5 games. Yeah, just all these powerhouse teams, so I think they're due for a win on at least one of those 5 games. So that's why I picked the Browns to win once against the Ravens. It's also the Joe Flacco revenge game, and that would be funny seeing him going to Baltimore and actually winning. Alright. Rams versus Titans. Titans aren't that great. I got the Rams winning again. Steelers, Seahawks. I think Steelers are going to win just because. No particular reason. Then I still got the Eagles winning, even though they didn't really play that great last week. I still think, after what I saw in the Super Bowl, I don't think Kansas City is fit at all to beat them. So, I still got the Eagles winning that one. Alright. Both of these teams lost, but I think Dallas is going to win. Then, we have the 49ers and the Saints. That would be absolutely hysterical if the Saints won. That'd be so funny. I'd be laughing my ass off. Just seeing the 49ers lose to the Saints out of all teams. That'd just be so freaking absurd. But obviously I'm just going to go with the 49ers here. But that will be so funny if the Saints win. Alright. Bears versus Lions. I think I got the Lions winning. Alright. First time around. I think they can win the second time. And it's the Cardinals and the Panthers. I got the Cardinals winning. Alright. Vikings, Falcons, Vikings. It's sad to see the Falcons start 0-2, but that just is what it is. It's also a national championship quarterback rematch between McCarthy and Penix, so that's actually going to be fun to see. Broncos, Colts. I think I'm going to go with the Colts just for an upset based off of what I saw in Week 1. That was very surprising. Then there's the Chargers and the Raiders. I think I'm going to have the Chargers winning. Then there's the Buccaneers and the Texans. This one could really go either way. I was not very impressed with what I saw from the Texans this week, so I'm just going to go with the Buccaneers here. Alright, that's about it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. See ya.